friends. Hey, I'm so glad that you're here. I have some very important updates I need to do for you guys. And when I say very important, I mean very important. But right now, my son is homesick. So I don't want him to hear a lot of this. So if I'm talking kind of quiet or if you hear some kind of racket in the background, it's him. So here's the thing. When I first started doing this, I thought maybe if we could figure out why it's happening and what's going on, then maybe we could put a stop to it. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's beyond stopping point right now. It is beyond. This is go time. Recently, I want to update you on what happened in my room so that if you guys face this, hopefully you'll be able to do the same and have good results. See, these big uglies have been dive bombing at me, all this stuff now. I mean, forever, right? But I don't fear them. I have no fear of them. But one of the things that really matters to me are my guardians. And I was gushing over my guardians one night about how amazing they are. One in particular, I call him the Ancient One because he just seems so wise and he's so kind to me. I mean, he comes right up to me. He smells like fresh air after a rain. It's just amazing. And he's one of them that oftentimes will make up an angel. Now, he's did just a wing and did his best to try to protect me before. And it just, I mean, my heart is just so endeared with him. So I think Big Ugly heard me saying that and heard me praying and gushing about him because that night he attacked my guardian. I still get chills. I still get upset when I think about it because I underestimated him. I really and truly believe that I underestimated him. And, oh boy, it was bad. So what I did, I jumped up. I started trying to poke him in the eye. I was swinging. You guys I do have a background Roku Kempo, by the way. Karate. And I was doing everything I could think of and it did not touch him, right? It didn't faze him. But I had seen that look of panic on my guardian's face, and that was it. So, I mean, I battled with him for probably 15 minutes. I mean, nothing worked. So finally, I said, I got to banish you. I got, in my head and in my heart, I knew what I had to do. So, somebody had asked me what I do to banish them. So I'm going to go through that with you really, really quick because this happened last Thursday and I'm recording this on a Wednesday, the following Wednesday, and I have not seen him since. And ever since I did that, there has just been swarms. I mean, I'll get into all that later. So I can tell you what I did as a Christian. I can't tell you if you have a different faith, what would or would not work for you. I just don't know. But I have done this before. And what works for me is that the first thing I do is to recite the Lord's Prayer. Even though I'm walking in the valley of the shadow of death and demons surrounding me, I know not to have any fear. See, Jesus taught us to pray earnestly and sincerely. It's better to say a prayer the way that it comes from your heart instead of reciting a prayer, verbatim, because it means more to God when it comes from your heart. So I go through that part of the prayer, and I have worked with key energy, my own key energy, for many, 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 many years. Long time ago when I meditated, which I really should start doing again, but when I meditated regularly, that was one of the things that I did, was to try to open up my key energy. And in karate, we also work with key energy. The only thing is that I noticed that over the years, I'm depleted. I am so depleted. It's very hard for me to maintain a higher level. So as I'm reciting the Lord's Prayer, I'm bringing in energy. I'm pulling it in from my environment the best that I can. And I can usually feel the surge coming. And this is a booming voice, you know. And then I say, by the authority that was given to me by Jesus, who was the rightful Christ, I banish you to the abyss. And on the word abyss, that's when I unload all of that energy that I have picked up. Now that's if I know where the demon is exactly, which last Thursday night, I knew exactly where he was. I could see him clearly. He still had my guardian in his grips. If I don't know exactly where it is, or in the past I've not known exactly where it is, I did a sweep, like a circle sweep, releasing that energy as it goes. Now, Big Ugly pulled another one of his gang, for lack of a better word, in front of him right at that point. So I thought, oh geez, I probably sent somebody else. Probably wasn't him. But like I said, he has been completely gone since last Thursday, and he was an every night bad guy. So it's really important, I think, that you remember to include, if you're a Christian, you remember to include the fact that Jesus gave us the authority to do this. I save it for the worst cases, like the little kiss guys. I don't know. Some of them, yeah, some of them no. I think one of the guardians I have that comes on the regular, he looks to me like he was once a kiss guy. He's kind of the inverted colors, but I know now he is, of course, a guardian. So I don't know 100% who is who, and like I said, I save that for very, very serious offenses. And I told our friend, I have a goofy sense of humor sometimes, and I told our friend, I said, I wonder if they're all in the abyss sitting around a card table, just calling me all kinds of ugly names, trash talking me. The ones that I've sent, probably. Because the way I understand it is that only our Creator, God, and Jesus, the Christ, are able to release them from the abyss. It's like a permanent banishing. So that night, I slept like 2 hours, you guys. I was so upset. I was in tears because I was like, I just should have known. I should have known that scoundrel would go after my guardians, because I was just gushing about them during my prayer that night. So I'm trying to figure out the next night what to do in order to try to keep them away from him. And so the next night, there were more guardians in my room, but I didn't take any chances. Every time I saw some black flying at me, I have this old infrared camera that I used to use with my son when he was sleeping down in the basement, my oldest one, just to make sure he got up and went to school. And so I tried that. I got some footage. I'm going to tell you, I got some footage, but I don't think, of course, like I said, it's not the same one. It's not the one that has disappeared now. But, and I promised my guardians that I would not put their face on anything that I sent out. I made that promise to them, and I'll keep it. So, a couple of photos, I've just put green dots all over their face so that, So I tried the camera. I'm going to tell you, it really didn't work. It really didn't work. They were shifting back, but still pressing their luck. They really were. So So there were more guardians who showed up, and they took care of them. They just like wiped them all out the next night. But the next night, I'm telling you what, it was a circus in my room. I mean, a circus in my room. There was a tall gray alien that he's definitely up to no good. He's with the bad guys. He's got a menacing look on his face a couple of times. I saw him talking with one of the KISS guys as the KISS guy was going out of the portal that my guardians opened. Can you believe I'm saying these words out loud? I mean, sometimes I'm like, whew, boy. So a couple days, maybe later, I'm not really sure now exactly. But like I said, I have this incredibly goofy side of me, and I really think it's a coping mechanism. I really do. But when the bad guys were coming in that night, I told them, I said, look, I'm putting you on a 30-day action plan. I said, I think that you can try to be nice for 30 days. Let me tell you what you can do. You can listen to a friend talk. You can smile. You can say hello. You know, maybe not all of you could do it, but maybe at least a few of you could do it. I mean, really. I did it. And I kept, every time I would see one of them, I was like, what are you going to do nice? What nice thing are you going to do? I was cracking me up. Like I said, I think it's a stress thing. I really do. So, and two, I was thinking, you know, where are we going from here? You know, we know this is escalating. We know that they're going to come out. And I'm going to tell you something. I think it really is a great battle. I think it is definitely a battle between good and evil based on the things that I have seen recently. So there are flying demons that I've seen coming in my room. One last night was actually kind of funny. I'll tell you, because I don't fear them at all. I mean, I just mess with them because it's fun. So I do kind of mess with him sometimes. So one, I saw him. He wasn't huge. He was probably only about 2 foot, all black wings, small wings. I saw him fly under the Guardian's radar behind me and tuck himself behind the bed. So I kept an eye out in my periphery for him. And all of a sudden, he comes up. And I grabbed his face and I said, hi, how are you? I'm like, touching his face. It shocked him. And the next thing I know, he disappeared and there was a white cloud in front of me. So my guardians got him, you know. And there was another one that they scooped up. And he had his teeth showing at me, and they were almost like glowing. And he had his hand outstretched, like, hey, I'm going to get you. So I went, oh, hi, how are you? I started knocking his hand around. I mean, I think, like I said, I think it really does reduce my stress level overall. It is just to be goofy. But today is day number 27. I don't know that it will trigger anything. I don't know that, you know, me telling them they needed to drive for 30 days would trigger anything. Some of the KISS guys, I'm not 100% convinced are completely evil because one of the guardians looks like a white version of the KISS guy. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe these guardians, some of them at least, come from the different entity groups. I have a couple of photos that I'm going to show you, but look, I've been having technical difficulties. VN just won't cooperate with me. So I got another program and I'm trying to load up some photos, but the thing is, things are happening so fast, you guys. I mean, like, some of this major stuff that I really want to tell you. Like, you know, when I encounter these demons, I want to tell you how the guardians get them out, or, you know, how they entrap them and all that kind of stuff. Because at this point, that's much more important than photographs. If I find something that's different, that's unique, I'm going to put it up for you. If I have to put it in a post or a short or a live or whatever, I'll try to get that to you if it's something different. Back to how they gobble them up. I have seen, there's a beautiful all-white young lady who looks like she's like a 13-year-old girl, and she's the one that I told you guys before that I encouraged her to go talk with one of the guys with all the hair. So she was on the front of the one I call the ancient one. She was on the front of him. He was sucking them in, and she was shoving them back in his mouth every time they were trying to get out. When I talked about the blob and how I could see eyes and stuff from the blob, I finally figured out what that is. That blob is the guardian filled with these beings. And they do a wonderful job of just sucking them up. And then I think what happens is, I think that the bad guys finally give up. And when they give up, then other ones start coming into the guardian, and I'll see them coming out of the guardian. That's another thing. You can't always go by like the looks, because some of them have been morphing as these white clouds, and then they turn back into what they really are. One of the biggest things to look for are the weird eye, the one weird eye that looks like, Edie said, television static, and that is a great way to explain it, is it looks like television static. So if you see those, do be on guard, because they could be, you know, part of the bad guys. I went outside last night with my son, and we just hung out for a while because he's not been feeling so good lately, and he's had a rough time. So we went outside just to hang out. We were watching them. I'm telling you guys, I was watching them just plummet from the sky onto the roof of my house and onto trees. And I mean, the short little time we were out there, we probably saw 20 plummet down, and that's really unusual, because most of the time I would see like one, maybe two, but that was it when I was out there. Sometimes 3, but nothing like last night. Last night, the guardians were out in force, and I'm going to tell you about an app that I downloaded, gosh, I know probably a month ago, but when I first used it, it didn't seem like it would work. But last night, it really worked well for us to be able to see them, because that's where the problem is. When I'm out there filming them, I'm filming completely blind. I have no idea what I'm filming because I can't see anything on the camera screen, on my iPhone screen. I can't see anything. So I don't know if there's a cute little fairy on the ground right there and I just can't get to it. You know, I mean, I just don't know. This app that I found, oh my goodness, it's called Night Eyes, NIGHTEYES. I think I paid like $2 for it on the App Store, maybe a little more, but it is perfect, because even though you lose their colors, which I hate because I love their colors, they're so beautiful. You lose their colors, but you can actually see them at night. So you can see exactly what you're filming and where it is. Like my son, when we were out there, I think I told you before, I heard like little footsteps in the grass, in the leaves, you know, and I got to see those last night. It was 2 little fae. They came running up to my son. It was the sweetest thing ever. One of them was on his foot. So I had him turn around and lean down, kind of like he was facing where they were, because I know that's going to be a very special picture for him someday, because that way you could see it, you know. And I got some just beautiful guardian photos off of that app also, but like I said, and it might have features to put in the colors. I just don't know. I just whipped it out at the last minute and thought, you know, because it would be so nice for us to be able to see, and I'd already looked in my camera. I couldn't see a thing on the ground. So then when I put it through the night eyes, I'm like, oh my goodness, be careful where you step. Go a little to the left. So I'll share those with you. I don't know if I can put them in this, I will, but if not, then I might just have to put them in a separate video. You guys, I think we're getting close to go time with all of this activity that's happening, and the U.S. has got me very concerned too, because they're trying to bring about all this attention of these UFOs in the air, and they're shooting them down, and they're having this, you know, hardcore stance. They know something. I don't know what they know, but they know something. And most of these that I have encountered have been peaceful, and I mean actually very sweet. I took some footage. Again, I didn't see it, of this great big long giant thing. It was the size of my neighbor's, she has a brick home, and it was the first floor up to like the wooden attic, you know. Yeah, it was almost the full height of that, not quite. And it was long, I think it was as long as her house. I'm not sure exactly right now, but I've got to try to get that into a new editing program and get that out to you guys. With those though, I mean, they're hanging out with the guardians, they're smiling, you can tell they're kind of talking to the guardians. They're not the bad guys, but if you are completely unaware and you're walking somewhere and all of a sudden, boom, these things come out, it's going to scare the daylights out of people. I mean, it's going to terrify so many people. It just really makes me sad to think that, you know, what's going to happen, because there's not going to really be any hiding or running from these if they're in your house. I mean, hopefully somebody will be able to talk with them and be able to help them to understand that that's not always a good thing. That's not always appropriate. But like I said, I think it's happening much faster. It's really heating up, and like I said, they're now. I don't even have any idea how many guardians are in my room. I just see white shadows like zipping all over my room, and I'll look up and I'll see a blob filled with dark figures that are just moving all around it. So I know what it is. They've trapped them. They've trapped them in the top. So if you know anybody who would also be willing to look at this stuff and become familiar with it, with knowing that you might have to actually help people, if you know anybody who would do that, that would be great. Even if they don't want to come on YouTube, they don't want to whatever, you know, they don't want to be a part of talking about it. If they even can see the photos, that would be good, just so they can be prepared and to know that not all of them are evil. And some of them are very good. I mean, those guardians. And I had the most beautiful, beautiful set of beings come a couple of nights ago. I've seen one of them up on the mountain one time. They wear like a pink satin jacket. They're very fancy. And they have like white curly hair. Some of them wear like pink dresses or whatever. They're very royal looking. If I were to say it was part of Norse mythology, I would say they were the light elves, but I don't know. They're about our size, but thin, very, very thin. like I said, I saw one gentleman up on the mountain one day. I got a photo of one of them. But they were out here a couple of nights ago, just en masse. I mean, they were everywhere. They were up in the trees. They were walking on the ground, and I got a couple of those. So I'm going to try to get one of those videos up, but I'm not going to spend so much time on filming them and making those long videos, because I don't know if you guys know that, but sometimes those videos can take me like 45-50 hours to do one that's long, because I'm picky about all the editing. I want to make sure that those photos are the best that I can give them, so that you can get the best look possible. So like I said, if a new group comes in or whatever, I will at least try to post it on the community tab. I'm going to do a short too and try to recruit people to just come look at the photos, so that, you know, they're not scared halfway out of their minds. I love you guys. I mean so very much. And I am so grateful for you. I hope you know that. And if I could stand here and just hug each and every one of you, I would right now. Things are really, they're really moving along. I think it might be a good time for all of us to kind of beef up what we need to beef up. Well, I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye.